Today, I'm doing a topic on India, and this is just an introduction to India. Again, a lot of questions that are asked. So this is just a general geography of India in terms of its location, area, and so on. So the geographical area of India is close to about 3,287,240 square kilometers, and it is the seventh largest country of the world after Russia. And it has only 2.4% of the total surface of the area of the world, which is very significant because we have the second largest population in the world. And in terms of comparing it with Great Britain, we are 20 times as large as Great Britain. We look at the location of India or a location of a place in two terms. One is absolute location and the other is relative location. So absolute location here is the in terms of latitude and longitude. So we have the latitude of India, that is the mainland India, the mainland, not the islands, from 8 degrees 4 minutes and 28 minutes seconds north to 37 degrees 17 minutes and 53 minutes seconds north. Southernmost latitude, including the islands, is about 6 degrees and 45 minutes. This is called as Indira Point. It used to be called as Pygmalion Point, and it is located in the Great Nicobar Island. And this, of course, today does not exist because it was affected by the tsunami and it has disappeared under the sea. Over time, if there are no more tsunamis in the location, then over time, maybe a few 10, 15 years, the entire point will appear again. In terms of longitude, we are going from 68 degrees east to 97 degrees east. So we look at these two values, 8 degrees and 37 degrees, and 68 degrees and 97 degrees. You will find that the difference between each is exactly 29. So we have 29 latitudes across us, mainland India, and we have 29 longitudes. But if you look at the area here, extent, right? North-south extent Kashmir to Kanyakumari. The distance is 3,214 kilometers, including Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And east-west between Rana of Kutch to Arunachal Pradesh is only 2,933 kilometers. So sometimes they may ask you a question in the exam about the reason why, though the north-south extent is equal to the east-west extent in terms of latitudes and longitude, there, uh, there is a big difference in the size, in the distance. Now, the reason for this is that when we do latitudes and you will have learned that already, or when you learn it then, you will find that the distance between latitudes is always uniform. It's about 111 kilometers. But the distance between longitudes decreases as you go towards the pole. So any country that is located closer to the polar region will be having a narrower area when compared to any region in the near the equator, right? And at the equator, of course, the distance between two longitudes is about 111 kilometers. So India is located north of the equator, and that is why the Tropic of Cancer actually goes across India in the center, and that is why you'll find that the east-west extent of India is only 2,933 kilometers. So these are statistics that you need to know, right? And like I said, the reason is because the north-south distance is more than east-west distance, mainly because the distance is equal. So this data, 111 kilometers, is very significant because that's the distance between the latitudes as you go from the equator to the poles, but longitudinal distance decreases towards the poles. So this is the map that you need to be familiar with. It's in the NCRT books, and you can see that the data is given about the east to west distance and the north to south, as well as the Tropic of Cancer going exactly almost to the center of India. We also have one more longitude here, which is the standard meridian, which passes through Allahabad and sets the time for the entire country. Now, what is the significance of this latitudinal location is that one, it is completely in the northern hemisphere, that is north of the equator, and therefore you will find that in summer we have our summer season is April, May, June, whereas winter is November, December, January. In the southern part, you have a more tropical climate because it is divided separated by the Tropic of Cancer. The Tropic of Cancer is a kind of a barrier between the tropical and temperate region. So northern region has more temperate climate. What this means is that the southern part is much hotter in summer and remains hot, even warmer in winter, whereas the area north of India, north of Tropic of Cancer, has a more what do you call, very hot summers and very cold winters. So as I said, Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle. Now questions that could be asked here is a whole lot of cities or capital cities that we have located south of Tropic of Cancer. So these are the capital cities, and I've not included the capital of Andhra Pradesh here, which will be uh, set soon. And here is where you have, but nowadays you will find that if you are up to date with your current affairs, so any place that has been in the news, very important manner, that place you can find can be asked as to whether it is north of Tropic of Cancer or south of Tropic of Cancer. So you need to be thorough with your current affairs because these are all old questions, though we need to know this also, but they also can include other important cities or even places in small villages and towns that have been in the news, right? Just to test your knowledge. And these are the cities beyond the Tropic of Cancer. And on the Tropic of Cancer, we just have three: Gandhinagar, Bhopal, and Ranchi. Again, here you may have a few questions with reference to other places, like I said, on the Tropic of Cancer. Most important here is that they could ask you questions as to, as you go from east to west or as you go from north to south, what comes first, what is the order. So you have to be thorough with the map of India, right? Let's look at the significance of India's longitudinal location. It lies completely in the eastern hemisphere, which means it is east of the prime meridian. The prime meridian is the meridian at which we have time set for the whole world, and it used to be called GMT, Greenwich Median. But of course, today we have something called as UTC. So we are approximately, I mean, normally under normal conditions, we are 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT, right? But today we have what we call as daylight saving, and therefore in summer, in order to make maximum use of the daylight and to save electricity, the entire European region as well as GMT, they have set their clock half an hour, sorry, 1 hour, uh, in 1 hour more, so that there is now a difference of 4 hours and 30 minutes between us and GMT. So GMT today now goes only for Britain and sometimes is known as British Standard Time, and the rest of the world we follow what is called as UTC, which we will discuss in another topic. So we are behind all countries in the east, right? So China, Japan, Singapore, right? We are they see the sunrise earlier, and therefore we are behind their time. As well. So you're looking at the map of India, the states of India, right? Why is this map important? Is one, you need to know the borders of every state. For example, let's take Maharashtra. So Maharashtra, if you have, you need to know what are the borders, how many states it is sharing a border with, right? So I would suggest you take a printout of this and put it up, and you can constantly look at it, and you can get a good idea as to how many states are surrounding. So, for example, Goa is probably one state where you only have Maharashtra and Karnataka, no other state, right? Most states will have, like smaller states will have that, but there are some states which have borders with many more states. And you may say, why should we know such data? As future UPSC officers, you should also know that India is a country as one, and having so many states, it means we are just complicating the situation where we have state border problems, right? Then we have river sharing problems, and a whole lot of issues. So here is where we need to know, like how many, if you're posted somewhere, say in Maharashtra, then you have Gujarat, you have Madhya Pradesh, you have Chhattisgarh, you have Telangana, and you have Karnataka. Each one very diverse, each one very different, and therefore we need to know how to deal with situations, especially if you have a river that runs across. So from Maharashtra, we have rivers going towards the Godavari, then we have towards Mahanadi, as well as towards Krishna. And that is why if any of these other states does, want to develop the rivers, Maharashtra can always put a stop to it, and then all other states will just have to worry about where they will get their water from. So learning this map, and this map is also useful when you're going to be studying the physical features, because sometimes they ask you questions such as, for example, what are the Himalayan states? What are the states that are found in Himalayas, in the Himalayan region? And that's how you have the division of all of. Because Ladakh is again separated as another area for the purpose of what do you call? I don't think it is a state as yet. It's just a separate region for the purpose of administration. And so you need to know the names of all the states as you go from east to west or west to east, right? For all the physical features. So Himalayas, northern plains, what are the states in the plateau region, and so on and so forth, right? And here also you get a picture as to, what are the important towns and cities, like major ports that are also mentioned here in this map. So if you could get a map like this and keep looking at it, you will get more familiar with how to answer these questions. Right. We go on next to the relative location. Now, this is pretty simple. Everybody knows this. These are the physical boundaries. So, in the north, we have Pamir Knot, and in the east is Bay of Bengal. Right? These are physical features. Then, northwest, we have Thar Desert and Punjab Plain of Pakistan. And in the northeast, we have Chin Hills, Kachin Hills, which separate us from Myanmar. Then we have Khasi hills and Mizo hills that separate us from Bangladesh, right? And the Ganga Brahmaputra Delta also that separates us from Bangladesh. Finally, we have political boundaries. So in terms of political boundaries, we have China, Bhutan, Nepal, and Afghanistan in the north. Northwest is Pakistan, south is Maldives, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia, which are all island nations. And Sri Lanka is separated from India by a very narrow sea. Like you can be asked questions about its location and about many aspects with reference to these two, right? And finally, we have territorial waters that extend to a distance of about 22.2 kilometers or 12 nautical miles, measured from an approximate baseline, which is the average, high tide and low tide, right? So why is it that we need to know these political boundaries? Is because we need to know how to protect our country. So we need to know our friends, and some of them are. So we need to know all this, and then take take the steps or the decisions as to how we are going to protect and keep our country safe from attack from all either enemies, or how we can promote good relationships with those countries which are good friends with us, right? Now, we also have extreme points in India. Again, this is all just in general information. Northernmost point is Dafdar, which is now in POK, in the Pamir region. You have Bekwas. Then southernmost, of course, is Kanyakumari. Southernmost, I've already told you, is Indra Point in terms of latitude in Great Nicobar Islands. Then easternmost is Kibitu, which is in Arunachal Pradesh, and westernmost is Guar Mota in Kutch, Gujarat. So the map here gives you an idea. It also gives you an idea of what are the highest, lowest, and so on, right? And all this is just the information that's also available in several books and in the form of a table and so on and so forth. And these are questions that could be asked to you from time to time, the northern, and you need to know these names. So familiarity will help you. If you go on repeating it and seeing over and over again, you can become familiar with it. Right. So highest peak is K2 Godwin Austen, which is in India. Highest peak of the Himalayas in India is Kanchenjunga. Highest peak in the plateau is Annemudi. Lowest point in India is Kutanad, which is in Arapura in Kerala, right? And southernmost point is in Antarctica, which was now called Maitri. Previously, it was Dakshin Gangotri, but the Dakshin Gangotri was covered with ice and it has disappeared under completely. Then the largest alluvial plain in the world is, of course, the Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra plain. Largest delta is Sundarban, Ganga Brahmaputra Delta. Largest river island in India is Majuli Island, which is in Assam, in the river Brahmaputra. So that's just the general information. Of course, we have the largest glacier, which is the Siachen Glacier, always in the news, right? And then all the details. So a lot of information that you need to know and you need to read up from time to time, right? And that's how. So that completes my location of India and the details. Thank you.